It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Running with your friends. Come on.
Come
It's the moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on. Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people at night. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show coming to you live and direct. And tonight, as the theme song says, it's going to be on. Let me tell y'all something. We got a little hot topic tonight. And matter of fact, while I fix my microphone, I believe somebody been in the studio messing around trying to get their own little show or something going on. I don't know. But anyway, as life would have it, we're gonna talk about some things tonight that might get y'all mind elevated, potentially. I can't say for all y'all, because some of y'all ain't gonna get elevated no matter what I talk about. But let me say this. First, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions, comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. I'm going to continue to address as many of your questions and thoughts. Every night I'm going to add to reach you because you are the valued listener. And what does that mean? That means without you all out there in listening land, there would be no reason for me to be here. I could be asleep right now in my bed just relaxing. But because of you all, I'm here and it's about to be on and popping. Now, normally I don't do this, but I am tonight. I'm gonna give y'all the backdrop to how tonight's little segment came to be possible and plausible, if you will. Well, first of all, let me say this to all of you all who say I don't be sending y'all no real shouts out, and when you be telling me all your business or whatever, understand something. I don't see it unless you're on Facebook. For those that you are on Twitter, YouTube, local TV stations and the radio stations, I can't see your comments until after the fact. Matter of fact, who done popped on already? Look at their people. First person saying hello is Detective Pamela Black. Gone, girl, with your bad self. That's what I'm talking about. And so when I see you pop up like that, I'm going to give you a shout out and let the world know where you at, okay? Now, let me tell y'all something. Funniest thing happened to me. So this past few days, your boy been harboring himself. I went on a little visit to the ATL. Yes, I did. And when I went down to the ATL, everything was lovely. But your boy, Uncle Cindy Sin, had a few things that popped up in his mindset. And I just got to let y'all know, tonight's whole entire show came from some things that I seen on my little visit. And again, I'm going to lay the groundwork. And because when I lay the groundwork, it's going to make sense to you all that what I'm talking about. All right. Uh-oh, y'all, there goes somebody else. Let me let y'all know who else is on the scene. Lacey Greer, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you popping in on the show as usual, making the show a better place to be. So let me get down to the points of concern, if you will. So I'm down in the ATL, minding my business as I do, doing the things that come natural in our community. So I had an opportunity. I said, hey, I want to go get me something to eat. And so, you know, when you want to go get something to eat, I let somebody else pick the spot. And because I haven't gotten clearance to call people's names, y'all know I protect the innocent because I don't want y'all judging everybody. But I was out, and the the audience that I was with was, I mean, just a wonderful environment, right? But there became a problem. Uh-oh, y'all, there go your boy Jay Dizzle. What's up, Jay Dizzle? Glad to see you on the show. Johnny's in the house. And so while I'm down there, the first night I'm in town, I said, hey, I got to look. Matter of fact, if I'm being transparent, I had planned out where I was going to go get some vittles at when I was down there. But it just so happens that I get there before my cohorts get there. I get there before my team gets there. I get there before my compadres get there. I get there before my people get there, right? And so while I'm sitting there, you know, like most people do, because I drove the polar bear this weekend when I went down there. And so I park up in front of this restaurant. And truth be told, they had me somewhere down in what felt like Little Mexico. I was like, man, I was hoping ice didn't come out because I might have had a bad afternoon. And so while I'm sitting in front of this restaurant, and the restaurant didn't look like much from the exterior. Y'all know in the in the Negro community, we like to call them like a little hole in the wall, if you will. But it's okay, because that's where a lot of the good eating is at. So I'm doing good, waiting on those special people in my life to come through. And what happens is, y'all, there go y'all homegirl JC. What's going on, JC? Glad you done popped in. So while I'm sitting in front of this hole in the wall, waiting for some less than fine dining, I'm presuming, by the looks of everything going on, I happened to started peeking through the windows, because this was, like I said, even though it was down in Little Mexico, I had been told and promised that the vittles were exquisite. So I said, okay, I'm down with it. So I'm looking through the window. First thing I see, I noticed that even though James Key, what's going on, man? Glad to see you on the show. So even though I'm in Little Mexico, and all of the buildings and everything around me are clearly some that Trump might not appreciate, but I'm looking through the window and I'm noticing that the people inside do not look like my Latino brothers and sisters. It was a lot of my African Americans in there. So that got me to thinking it must be some good food in there. Okay. And let me tell you now, my tour guide promised me it was going to be on and popping. So I'm trusting. And so I'm looking through the window and I'm noticing something. And what does your boy Uncle Sin realize? I realized that the table directly in front of where the polar bear was parked, as I'm looking through there, I see this African American, this black guy. I ain't got to be politically correct. I can say black guy, ain't nothing wrong with it. This black guy was at the table, what would appear to be either an extremely bright Latino girl or a white girl. Okay, I can say that. Why can I say that? Because my DNA say I'm almost half and half. So anyway, let's stay focused. So I'm noticing how their dining experience is going. And I noticed that while I can't tell you the names of the things that they were eating, there came a point when there was something that looked like I don't know if it was a taco or a quesadilla, because I'm sitting pretty far. I'm in the parking lot. But I see the woman. I see her take the food and dip it in some kind of little Latino sauce. And she feeds it to the brother. I ain't lying, y'all. Hey, for all the fellas on the show, I am not lying. I see her feed this dude. And while he didn't have a beard like Uncle Cindy Sin, he had a little scruffy one that was attempting to grow. And I seen she must have dripped something on it, because she took a napkin and she appeared to be wiping it off. Now, me being the type of investigative person that I am, I begin to be curious, almost like watching a unicorn, because I've not been anywhere where I saw this type of activity toward the species we know as the black man. This lady was participating by feeding her man, and they were laughing and everything was cool, and she wiped off his beard, and behold, I seen him, uh-oh, y'all, there go y'all homeboy Marcus, what's going on? Everything is all good. So I seen her at some point give him a little kiss and everything, and I'm saying, listen, is this what go on in little Mexico? Is this the kind of treatment? Because I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised to see a black man get treated this way. And so the first thing I did was I picked up the phone. I had to call. I said, hey, you know this spot that y'all done sent me to? I said, I am witnessing some type of historic account. I said, I explained to them everything I just told y'all. While I'm talking to them, literally, the little happy couple's meal must be over. Now, mind you, as I'm looking around through the window, I'm seeing an awful lot of stuff going on, but between, mixed couples and everything. But I am focused, laser focused on the fact that this brother is getting treated like royalty. And yes, I'm being transparent. I cannot tell you for a fact whether she was a white girl or a extremely bright Latino chick, but she was treating him like he was the king of Zamunda. And I'm shocked. And deep down inside, I almost shed a little polar bear tear, because I could not believe what I was witnessing. And as I'm on the phone, giving the information, the firsthand broadcast, if you will, to the homies, right? Let me tell you what they said. And again, I'm going to protect the names of the innocent, because they have not given me clearance to put their name out there. But I'm going to tell you, the male and the female who were in the same vehicle immediately say, oh, that's the side chick. I'm feeling almost in the pit of my stomach like something's going on. I'm saying, how can y'all possibly say that woman providing that wonderful experience and uplifting this African-American man, this black man, during the course of a meal? I'm trying to understand, why would y'all say this was a side chick instead of a primary? Yeah, Marcus, that's what they called her, because she's in there feeding, dipping the meal in and feeding her black man and wiping his face and giving him a kiss. They said it was a side chick. Oh, Sue, how you doing? Sue Holloway done popped on. Jay Dillon, hey, Jay, I ain't lying to you. That's what they called her. I felt like, look, it was a punch to the kidneys. Because I'm trying, look, and while I'm talking, the male says, oh, yeah, that's got to be a side chick, because main chicks don't do that. I said, come on now, say it ain't so. Uh-oh, y'all, for all y'all that don't, Marcus said, my wife does this and I'm married. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So the male says, yeah, you know what? Primary chicks, they don't do that at all. So that got to be the side. Why they in here downgrading and degrading the bright and shining woman, whoever she was, whatever her ethnicity was, and it was something other than a black woman. So I'm not, listen, black women, hey, Marcus just said he married and his wife do it, so that's one for the black women saying they do it too, all right? But look at that. Lacey said, oh, wow. Yeah, Lacey, I felt the same way too. But what they told me was, they said, listen, as they're downgrading this woman from primary status to, to side chick status, if you will. I see the couple walk out the door. He walks her to the car. They getting in the same car. He opens the door for her. Opens the door up. Now I'm gonna tell you what got me to wondering. He's on the phone texting while walking with the chick that just got through feeding him. She gets in the car. He closes the door, goes to the other side. Now, I'm going to tell you immediately, me being a connoisseur of the human race, I noticed a few things. I noticed I never heard the woman who just got through feeding the man, I never heard her ask a question. Who you texting on the phone? She ain't go left with him at all. I was so shocked. Then my little phone team, the little A team on the phone, they started telling me, oh, she's playing her role. She ain't gonna say nothing while he on the phone because he probably texting the primary. And I'm just, you know what? I'm feeling some kind of way because I'm trying to defend this lady that I just saw treating this black man like royalty. But they done lowered her standards, I thought. I'm gonna tell you why I said I thought. Because this ain't the only incident. That's step one. So now the whole time I'm in there trying to eat my food, I'm thinking to myself, I ain't buying what they selling. But these are some old wily type veterans. One of them was an old dude, probably near 70. The other one was a female and she's in her mid 40s, early 40s, whatever. But they seemed like they might have known the environment, but I'm not buying that this person that's doing something nice for the brother has to have a secondary or a marginalized status. Let it be known, we had a good dinner. The Mexican food, I had this stuff look like some ramen, and it had, I forgot, I ain't even gonna call the name because y'all gonna say I called it wrong, and then I'm gonna get mad at y'all for picking at my way of not knowing it. It was good. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell y'all the ambiance in the place, I wasn't feeling it. Okay. The food, the taste of the food, and I didn't, to be honest with you, I really didn't eat much. I got what I wanted with the little ramen mixture, and they had these egg rolls, and there was some other stuff. But to be honest with you, the ambiance was like going to a Latino laundromat or something, but the food was excelente. All right. So put that out your mind. The next day, the next evening, you know, I want to figure out, hey, I have been telling myself that whenever I go into the vicinity of the ATL, I always try, if at all possible, to get me a little Korean food, because that's one of my favorite meals is Korean food, right? So I said, okay. I let the team know it's Korean tonight. Just like the day before. I get there before my cohorts get there because y'all know me being the type of man I am, I like to be early. I'm not with all that late stuff, you know, but I'm the type of guy too. I'm willing to wait on the team. So I get to the little place that's been designated as an alleged good spot. While I'm sitting out here waiting, first the lady pulls up. She gets in the car. We in there having small talk, still waiting on the old timer, if you will. So while sitting there, and a matter of fact is, I don't know if we rode together. I don't even know how it went down. However, we in the same vehicle at this point, right? Matter of fact, I think we did ride together on that one. Still waiting on the old timer. So while sitting here waiting on them, I'm looking at across from the restaurant. There's like a let me say there is like a some kind of store. And you know, me being Mr. Observant, I see a lady that is standing outside a little car, and she looks like she's trying to light a cigarette, or she looks like she's got something. At the time, I don't know it's a cigarette. Then I see a brother that comes out, and this brother is wheeling a trash can or something, and he walks back up. And so Me being, I'm a little nervous in America these days. So I see him approaching what appears to me, again, optically, I'm a little far back, appears to be a Anglo-Saxon woman, white woman, if you will, right? So I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, he's approaching her pretty quickly. And she had on a little fake sundress, with you, whatever you want to call it. So he walks up on her and extends his hand like he got a lighter. And I'm assuming he then lit the cigarette. So I'm saying that's a pretty helpful brother. Now, person sitting on the passenger side is like, yeah, I guess she figured it was something suspicious. So the the lady then proceeds to kiss the dude, and he embraces her and squeezing on her. And now I'm shocked. So I said, look at there, another case of a brother receiving some respect and affection in public. Just so happens, now I wasn't out looking for mixed couples, but it just so happens that it happened to be either a white woman, Anglo-Saxon woman, or an extremely light Latino woman. I'm like, well, I'll be John Brown. First thing out of the old hating old girl on the side, she says, oh, she a side chick. Now I'm feeling some kind of way, public. I'm feeling some kind of way that every time I see a African-American male being treated fairly, they have to receive the person that is treating them the best is being labeled a side chick again. So, I'm back on the evening before. I'm back on this day. The old timer is supposed to be en route or whatever. I think he was en route. Somebody was en route. Some other people was en route. So then what happens is the lady gets into her car and leaves. So I'm like, all right, it is what it is. But then comes back within like 3 or 4 minutes. The dude comes back out the little store he's working in, and she hands him a beer. So she done left and went and bought the man a beer. Now, Lacey said, everyone a side chick. Lacey, that's what I'm at this point. I'm feeling like everybody's getting labeled as the side chick status. So in the midst of all this, look, Johnny said he don't even know why everybody got to get labeled like that. So when she gives him the beer and she's standing outside, and I'm like, what a nice gesture. He gave her a hug, all of the good stuff. So finally, anyway, we wind up going in there, eating, having a great time. By the way, if you're ever in the ATL, I'm going to post the names of the places that I went and ate at when I was down there on my bear adventure. And I'll let y'all know the eating was good at those spots. Let's fast forward. So at a certain point, we're hanging out. The old timer is with us. And I can't wait to share the story, because I'm thinking that the old dude is really going to stand up for the team. And I said, man, guess what I seen? I said, remember the story I told you yesterday? He was like, yeah. I said, man, this is what happened. And I told him the same story I just told y'all. He said, man, that was a side chick. I'm like, man, come on. Is anybody not standing up for the possibility that these could be some primaries? Why every time a woman is doing something nice for a man out here in the public, she got to be labeled as the side chick? I'm somewhat frustrated, bewildered, if you will. So then, another true story. So we say, hey, want to play some cards? Y'all know how people like to play spades. Say, hey, you want to play some cards? So we got to go to the store, get some cards, whatever. So we go to the store to get some cards. While coming out of the store, I notice that there is a brother with a white girl. I can't make this up. He's pushing the cart. It was a public store, if you will. And I'm seeing him put the stuff in the cart, whatever. And so as he's putting the stuff in the cart, I just noticed the old happiest moments, it feels like. So I again say, this time I'm initiating the question. Now, is that a side chick? The answer is no. That's probably the main chick. I'm confused. It's all outdoors. So now I'm spending my time trying to isolate in my mental what is going on. So I begin to ask the questions and ponder in my mind, if the women who are doing these wonderful deeds for these guys were truly, quote unquote, side chicks. Marcus says, so ATL full of mixed couples. Hey, Marcus, I can't make it up, big dog. I listen, I even went to church when I was down there. It seemed like the whole church was full of mixed couples. I don't know what's going on in the ATL, but it don't bother me. I just wanted to let y'all know for the purposes of tonight's thing. All right. So then I began to ask the questions, because it became very, very contentious inside of me mentally. All right. And the contention for me is primary girlfriend versus side chick, the truths behind the labels. Because in fairness, I began asking different people, if these things are the things that side chicks do for men in public, why would a man ever want a primary if having a side chick? And I was asking dumb questions because I really didn't know the answer. I was like, can you have a side chick if you ain't got a primary chick? Because I was about to tell everybody, hey, look, you're in the wrong market. The market said, all them niggas, never mind, I'm just listening. But real talk, people, because I wanted to know, is it possible to get somebody that is labeled a side chick that's going to treat you like that if you ain't even got a primary? So can you have a secondary before you get a primary? Because I'm baffled as to why all the most positive treatments, they label it and say, you got to be dealing with a side chick. And so it got me to thinking. I said, well, what's the definitions? Because apparently the way I was talking, I was sounding a little ignorant. All right. So I went to the internet. First, let me say this. In relationships, not all roles are created equal, as we know. And there's something that we in society have labeled as a primary, whether it's girlfriend or boyfriend. And then there is a extra person or a secondary person, male or female, known as the side, whether it is dude or chick. And the reason why I'm being specific, because while these instances we're talking about a gender where I saw a male with a female. Now I'm gonna tell you, the little smart but slick mouth person that was calling everybody side chicks or whatever, at some point did ask a valid question. What if all of what I saw was really not a side chick, but what if the dude was the side dude? But we'll get back to that later. But to define the terms, this is what the internet, hey, Jay Dizzle said the internet is for the win. Right or wrong, big dog? So the internet has described the primary girlfriend as the main partner, and I got all this right here. It says the main partner, usually exclusive, emotionally invested, and socially acknowledged. Meaning the primary girlfriend is somebody that everybody know you with. That ain't my definition. There it is right there. Y'all see, I prints out my stuff because I don't never want y'all to think I'm out here trying to bamboozle y'all. Hey, Marcus, hey, I'm just saying. So then the side chick is defined as a secondary, often secret partner who may or may not know her position. Now listen, I don't even want no smoke, ladies. I promise you I don't. JC in the game. You think it's positive, great, exciting, exhilarating until you get caught on the big screen at the concert. Then you hide your face because you're ashamed. Hey, listen, JC, I didn't go to the Cole concert or whatever you talking about. I know what you talking about, but I'm for the purposes of tonight's show, why you bringing up that man bad experience? I think he ought to stand 10 toes down on it. I think more so than anything, he felt a certain kind of way because I believe that person was in his HR department. So the message to the public is don't be creeping around with your HR person. I'm just saying. But back to the story at hand. Now, when it says a side chick or a side dude is a secondary, often secret partner who may or may not know their position. Now, that's the scary part right there. Coldplay, yeah, that's what it was. HR was what Jay Dizzle said. HR was wilding. People don't get sidetracked by that foolishness JC talking about. We want to talk about this. It says the secondary person is often a secret partner who may or may not know their position. That's where probably the problem come in, because they don't know their position. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a specialist in this area. But let me tell y'all something else. I asked the question to the internet. There's the question I posed. I'm going to read the answer to you. Because, again, I'm not as knowledgeable as some of you all are. So I said, can someone have a side person if you don't have a primary person? Y'all know what AI told me. AI almost called me stupid. AI said no. The concept of a side person implies a relationship existing alongside a primary committed relationship, usually a marriage or primary girlfriend or boyfriend relationship. If there is no primary relationship, hey. I want all y'all out there in listening land. Let me tilt my brim to y'all. I want y'all to listen to this part. It says, if there is no primary relationship, then the person is not a side person, but rather they are simply dating or in a relationship with someone. The term side inherently carries the connotation of being secondary and hidden, which wouldn't apply in the absence of a primary partner. Now, let me tell y'all why that's important. Some of y'all out here teetering on the fence, all right? Hey, Chris said he could be the side dude. Hey, you're right. But I want y'all to be teetering on the fence to recognize something. That AI, not seeing, but AI said that it ain't possible for you to be slicking and cheating if you ain't in a relationship. That's what it said. Matter of fact, it says that if there is no primary relationship, then the person is not a side person, but rather they are simply dating or in a relationship with somebody. Let me tell y'all why that's important. Because some of you out there don't want nobody to know that you got somebody. Whether you do, some of these ladies out here, oh no, I'm not in a relationship. That's what y'all saying. So according to AI, according to the internet, if you're telling your man you're not in a relationship, you can't accuse him of having a side person, because the internet says if you ain't claiming them as yours, you can't get mad if he is out there dating, meaning, matter of fact, I think I looked up the phrase dating too. But anyway, we'll get back to that. So I want y'all to stop. See, and let me tell you ladies something. JC said they don't know their position. Hey. Then you quote the Color Purple line, you can't control your woman. If you're going to do it, then you got to get them in line. Hold on. JC, I'm not getting into the middle of that water with you. And I want you to quote me right, JC. I didn't say this. This is what AI said. See, because I know some of y'all, the first thing y'all gonna do is say, Sinclair said on his show last night. Listen, here go the term. You see what that says? That says terms and definitions. It says side chick, a secondary, often secret partner who may not know her position. I didn't say it, JC. That's what the internet said. That's what y'all done taught AI. Don't get mad at me. I didn't say they don't know their position. It's possible. I'm just telling you what the internet said. I can neither confirm nor deny because I'm not the subject matter expert, if you will. But I do want to point out some information so some of y'all don't find yourselves in some crazy positions. What the AI and has defined it said, when I asked the question, can somebody be a side person if you don't have a primary person? Meaning, if ain't nobody claimed you, all right? It's like being in the NBA. You might be in the gym with the Lakers watching shoot-arounds, but if the Lakers ain't claimed you and gave you a contract, you a spectator. You not on the team, so you can't accuse the Lakers of not paying you fairly if you ain't got no contract. This is saying if there is no primary relationship, the person is not a side person, but rather they are simply in a dating relationship. So if you ain't letting somebody claim you, and if you ain't claiming them anymore, what's going on? Glad to see you. Then you can't be sitting around here French toasting your attitude because somebody is talking to your woman or your man that you ain't claiming because you still out here surfboarding with the public. They're saying if you ain't claiming them, then all you doing is dating, and dating is simply going out to eat snacks with somebody or some other activity. That's interesting news. How many of y'all out there listening and knew that? I bet some of y'all gonna stop saying somebody ain't your person now. Yeah. So when that girl that's sitting next to you that you've been bragging about how good somebody treats you, when she says to you, or when she start talking to somebody that you know, don't get mad at her, because if you ain't claiming the person, that person is on waivers. They out there available until claimed. I ain't trying to get y'all mad. I'm just telling you the facts in accordance to the internet. All right? Now, let's talk about in the differences between JC. JC, you got a lot to say tonight, but I'm glad to hear it. Mr. told Harpo he need to control his woman, point blank, period. Well, we ain't dealing with the color purple. All right? So, it says, let's get a little foundation here. Right now, we're going to talk about visibility versus secrecy. All right? Social standings and acknowledgement. A primary girlfriend is in a public relationship, posted on social media sometimes, acknowledged by friends and family, and included in events. Y'all hear that? So, ladies, if you want to know, Essence Shepherd, what's going on? That's my armor bearer right there, keeping the wolves off my back. So it says, if you want to know what status you might be on, then if you are a primary, there's only one part of this that I disagree with the internet on, and I'll explain it in a minute. But it says if you are a primary person in somebody's life, your relationship is public. It is acknowledged by friends and family, included in events. All right? Jay Dizzle said Harpo got them fist prints following Mr. Advice. Say it again, Jay Dizzle. Say it again, big dog. Now, here's the part that I disagree with the internet. It said posted on social media. Now, there are a lot of people, fundamentally, whatever their personal beliefs are, their professional beliefs, that they simply do not post a lot of stuff on social media about their personal life. So I'm going to put an airstrike through that one, because just because somebody ain't put you on a social media platform does not mean that you are not considered to be a primary. Meaning, if somebody's family know about you, all right? If somebody's family knows about you, if people can talk to you, you are on primary status because everybody know you. That's what it said. If you get asked about some events, hold on for a second. JC said, do you remember the conversation about triggers? This entire commentary is triggering. JC, let me tell you what I'm going to suggest you do. I'm going to suggest you get you a lemon, cut it in half, squeeze it in a cup, drink it, and decide for yourself if you can handle tonight's show. It shouldn't be a trigger for you, because the reality of it is you willfully came on the show tonight. This ain't about, I'm not saying this is about anybody. This started from a fundamental observation. Don't let it trigger you. Don't bring your baggage. All right? Now, side chicks hidden from the public may receive gifts and time, but rarely public appearances. Conversations are scheduled and often told we low key. Now, I don't know if nobody said that or not, but they say that's what the side person receives. Now, let me tell you why that's important. Because if that is true, that a side person doesn't get public activity, whatever, then that means those individuals that defined everything that I saw this weekend as being a side chick are wrong, because these people were in public places. Yeah, that right there. I'm just saying. Emotional investment versus transactional attachment. Primary girlfriend is gets emotional security and long-term planning included in life decisions, often the partner who supports through difficult times. All right? Keep that in mind. Let me read it again. It says the primary person long Now, some of y'all probably lost me for a second. JC tried to sabotage me, but that's all right. I'm back in stride again. So, when we talking about these things, transactional versus non-transactional, you have to understand that according to this, there's a gray line in all of these thought processes. Now, I'm saying these things because, again, the question after seeing all this is, what is right for you? Because there's pros and cons to all of these scenarios. I'm just saying, pros and cons. Now, let's talk about the cons and pros of being in the side person. So the pros of being a side person would be less responsibility, meaning no expectation for daily check-ins, family functions, or emotional caretaking, allows more freedom and fewer obligations. Material benefits. Most side people are spoiled with gifts, money, or trips to keep them satisfied and quiet. The thrill of secrecy, the excitement of forbidden love or moments creates a natural high for some. But there are some cons to this as well. All right? And some of the cons are this. They lack of commitment, rarely gets long-term investments or public validation, no guarantee of advancement to the main chick status. All right. JC said, all I can think of is Mary J. Blige's song, No Happy Holiday. Okay. And that's what it's talking about. It says another con is emotional confusion, can develop strong feelings, but receives inconsistent emotional support. Social stigma, viewed as the other person. If exposed, reputation and mental health can take a serious hit. Holidays. I think this is what JC was just talking about. Holidays, birthdays, family events, they often are left out of real life milestones. All right. Now, let me say something about these things. We've talked about pros and cons as it relates to the side person, and clearly they are some. So you all have to decide, first and foremost, what you're comfortable with. Remember, we've talked about three different things. We've talked about somebody or people who are just dating. If you are just dating, then there is no obligation, because according to AI, to the internet, that when you are dating, you have the capacity to date, go on events and activities with other people. And nobody has a right in those dating situations until you change the term from dating to being in a relationship with. Until that's done, now some of y'all gonna be sneaky. Some of y'all gonna say, I ain't in no relationship, but I want relationship respect. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's talk about the primary pros and cons. The pros and cons of primary as defined. You get emotional security, stability, consistency, and a deeper emotional bond. Now, I don't know about that last one, because from what I was seeing out there in the public, them jokers was emotionally bonded. But I digress. Typically in life decisions, social recognition, publicly acknowledged, introduced to family, friends, and coworkers, shares social media presence. And again, we're going to scratch the social media because that may not be a negative if you ain't on there. But they said if you are a primary person, then you get public acknowledgement, introduced to the family, friends, and coworkers. Everybody knows who you are. Like that song Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Priority position. You the first in holidays, emergencies, life milestones, has the official title and place in that person's world. meaning folks know about you, so it's all good. And finally, building together, usually included in conversation about finances, goals, family, and legacy. Let me tell y'all something. See, you want to know what status you're on, is saying, listen to the conversation that you get to participate in. Does this person talk to you about major events in their life, about their financial goals, about their finances, about their family? Do you get the pillow talk about real things? This ain't me. This is the information I printed out. Now, let me tell y'all something. The internet says there is some cons to being the primary relationship as well. It says emotional burden carries the emotional labor of the relationship, conflict resolution, emotional support, and long-term planning. Expectations and pressure. Expected to be all things nurturing, supportive, forgiving, and loyal, even during rough patches. It also says the risk of betrayal. If they have a side person, trust is shattered and they are left dealing with emotional damage. The fourth one, they say, may be taken for granted. Familiarity can lead to complacency. They may give energy to something else while neglecting your needs. Now, ladies, many of you have experienced this, and some dudes have too. Because a lot of these guys and the way these situations that I visually saw that were called side chicks, and these dudes was looking happy because they were being considered and shown value. Now, I'm not judging, all right? I'm just reporting the information. JC said the moral of the story, just be honest. I would rather you hurt me with truths than lies. I don't even know what road you going down. I don't know if that was toward the side person, the dating person, or the primary person. I don't even know where you were going with that, JC. But I'm going to let you ride on that horse because you rode it to the event. All right? Now, I wanted to do something else special for y'all tonight. I wanted to tell y'all and show y'all that there are some rules of engagement to being a side person. Again, I went to the internet. The internet gave me a whole list. I didn't even know it was no rules to this. But y'all check this out. 10 unspoken rules of being a side person. All right? Disclaimer, these rules are not encouragement. They reflect the reality of how some side relationships function. Many of these rules protect secrecy, preserve the primary relationship, and ultimately keep the side person in a limited role. Understand what I said? This is the disclaimer. Y'all see the little red dot? That's the disclaimer that the internet, AI, is even smart enough to know what to do. AI said these rules are not encouragement. AI has said, I ain't telling y'all to do this. But here we go. Rule number 1, know your role. Don't look, I already know some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but keep in mind, I ain't make these up. I just went out there to the internet because I'm not the subject matter expert. The first one, and I know it's a lot of dudes right now laughing at me because they saying to themselves, Sinclair, you stupid for even reading it. I gotta read it. I can't change the information because y'all might go pull up the same thing. It says, the first one says, know your role. Don't act like the main. Don't try to replace the primary. Side status usually comes with boundaries. Crossing them often ends the arrangement. Y'all got me on one. I got to go blow dry my beard out again because I'm just telling you, I can't even deal with y'all. Yeah, it said the first thing that AI, artificial intelligence, the first thing it told you is know your role. Don't step outside your boundaries because it could, quote unquote, end the arrangement. Second thing it says, Don't catch feelings. Keep it fun, light. Emotional attachment can create drama and unrealistic expectations. Fellas, this means us too. Because there's a lot of dudes out there that fall in love fast. Matter of fact, I'm probably one of them. But it's saying keep it light. Because when somebody views you as a side person, they don't want you pressuring them with the love thing. They don't want you pressuring them with the commitment thing. They don't want you saying that they your girlfriend or you they boyfriend. The internet said don't catch feelings. Maybe part of the problem with committed type people like me is I always want to be claimed. It says nope, that not do it. You could get DX'd. The next thing it says, stay in the shadows. Don't be tagging in photos. No showing up uninvited. No accidental run-ins. Most communications is going to happen. Don't you pursue it. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. That's kind of interesting. So it's saying if somebody don't want you to have no picture of them, it could mean that you got a side person status. As my grandmama Margaret Key used to say, well, I be John Brown. It says silence is loyalty. That's number 4. Don't expose them. Don't confront the main person. And do not get on social media and vent. That's what it says. I ain't make these rules up. Y'all need to go talk to AI. You feel like I'm triggering y'all or y'all in your feelings? These are not mine. I didn't even know all these. I'm becoming educated tonight just like y'all are. Be available but not needy. When somebody views you as a side person, they don't want you always trying to hug on them. They don't want you always trying. It says, respond when they reach out. Don't demand time, consistency, or explanations. Side people often, you know what? I believe I've been a side person before. The more I'm reading this, I'm feeling like even old Uncle Sin been a side person. I believe that there is at least 1 or 2 people in my 50 plus years who have viewed me as a side dude. Well, I'm feeling some kind of way. Me running around here trying to be primary status, and I'm realizing from reading this, I was nothing more than a side person. It says no public drama. That's down here. No pulling up at the house, the job, or the functions. No anonymous messages to the main person. You know what? First of all, I ain't even that type of dude because I ain't finna call nobody. I ain't finna call nobody house and be all up in their business because the truth of the matter is, don't get it twisted. Somebody might have tricked me into being a side person and I ain't know it. But I know my value and you should know yours. All right, let me get back on this. This internet tipped my help down to you, kind of got me feeling some kind of way. Play your position, not your feelings. You're chosen for a reason. Flexibility, emotional support, discretion. Getting too emotionally involved can disrupt the dynamic. See, listen to that. You know what, fellas? I'm going to defend y'all tonight. JC said, if you're a side and don't know you're a side, does it count? Well, JC, thanks for thinking about my feelings. Apparently, it still counts. I just was naive to the fact that I was one. But as I go through these definitions, I'm starting to notice that I've probably been this before. Now, truth be told, apparently it wasn't that bad because I didn't realize because I was having positive interactions, but I believe, because I done been in a situation or two in my lifetime where a person was, They ain't really, you couldn't go to no events. Person be at the hospital, you can't go because you the side person. You know what? I be Jack blaming. I have been a side person before. Y'all, we gonna all have to get us a what's that thing they do when they go to AA meetings? You had to go in there and say, hi, my name is Sinclair and I'm an alcoholic. I'm gonna have to go to one of these things and sit in the room and say, hi, my name is Sinclair. And I've been a side person before. All right, protect yourself. You're likely not on, you are likely not on side person status, but if so, protect yourself emotionally. All right? People, look, I gotta go. Y'all and tonight's conversation has made me feel somewhat discouraged. I realize that I am probably a victim of being considered a side person. I am probably exactly what, matter of fact, I shouldn't feel bad because I promise you, everybody on this show tonight, the thousands that's watching, most of y'all been that before too. And you realize that after tonight's little lesson of life, let me see what Lacey said. Lacey normally got something motivating to say. They might have a place called Side Piece Anonymous. You know what, Lacey? Look that up for me and let me know. Because I think I need some rehabilitation because I feel some kind of way that, ladies and gentlemen, I've been treated unfairly. And I just want to let y'all know it's time for me to go because the Sinclair show is off.
It's about that
But
time,
I appreciate
baby.
y'all tuning in tonight.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
The Sinclair show is on.
It is on.
Run it with your friends. Come on.
Come
Don't miss a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through.